Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Average Pastor podcast. I'm Mark, and I'm here with my pastor friends, Jeff and Jake. And we're just some average pastors on a mission. What's our mission again?
About every other episode, we have to.
What are we doing? This has been several episodes, but we still have our phone lines open for Nate Bargatze.
Oh, is he called?
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know, I should check our junk mail, see if I think that's probably what happened. It must have gone straight to the spam folder because I'm shocked that I haven't heard anything yet. So I'm sure that's
line.
it.
Didn't she probably, when you got a hold of
Yeah,
him?
totally. I probably got the call and sent it to voicemail.
Yeah.
And didn't get it, but
Yeah.
when I sent my book, The Advantage of Average, to Nate Bargatze. And one for, we offered him the invite. I'm sure that
Next
spam
episode.
folder, voicemail, just missed it somehow.
Yeah.
But Jake, I entered your world a little bit. I went out, so I tore my calf playing basketball. Like, I'm getting old, or something popped and I couldn't walk. So I thought it was my Achilles, but it was muscle in my calf. But anyway, so I went out and I only ever wear, like, I just have Vans. That's my shoe, and I'm almost 50, so I'm like, and I was in this walking boot, and I'm like, I needed something that I could, actually some shoes or whatever. So I went and got some orthopedic shoes.
Yeah. Those aren't Vans.
No, these aren't Vans. I bought some Hokas. So, and I feel like I kind of joined your world a little bit.
Well,
like with comfortable.
Hokas are cool orthopedic shoes. You haven't entered my world.
What's
You got
your
a ways
world?
to go, young pup.
What's your world, Jake?
G-Defies. They're more like,
Yeah, what's that?
it's an orthopedic support shoe. It's just not, Hoka. This is like,
Yeah.
50-year-old nurses. So that's just, yeah.
Are they all white? And you know,
you get a variety of colors.
You got them on
So,
right now.
so
Oh,
what's
okay,
that?
okay.
Yeah, but I noticed, like, all of a sudden I took off the boot and I'm walking in these, and I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like to
you
wear
don't go
shoes.
back.
Like Van,
You don't go back.
yeah, Vans are like, I don't know if they count as shoes, but but I feel like now I'm like walking on pillows or something.
yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, but am I going to get soft? Am I going to? This is definitely not the. I know there's the.
Are you going to go skate in them?
That's. Oh, I'd kill myself. The no. So there's like the no shoe movement where it's like you're basically walking barefoot with a pad under your foot.
Yeah.
And then there's the Hokas on the other side. It's funny. I remember the first time I ever saw a pair of Hokas, and it was my mother-in-law was wearing them. I'm like, what in the world are those things? Anyway, so
Teresa read an article or something, I can't remember, but they were talking about all the old things that are laughable now. And I had brought up Earth shoes from the 70s at a sermon a few weeks ago. And they said in this article, that's the reason it caught our eyes, because they were saying Hokas today are going to be the equivalent of what Earth shoes were back in the 70s. Like, at some point, people are going to look back at these big marshmallowy heels and everything and be like, can you believe we used to wear that stuff?
Yeah.
And we used to spend good money doing it, because Earth shoes were kind of like the rage. Like, that's what you need.
What was an Earth shoe?
It's really stupid. I can't even believe that. But the heel was actually thinner, than the front. So it looked like a backward wedge.
Huh.
But it had to do with, ecology, and that somehow Native Americans wore stuff like there's no way that they
That's
did,
funny.
but it was a super healthy, trendy,
which is
better
funny
way to
because
walk, better everything.
that I think is how I got injured my leg. Is it creates more torque on your Achilles and your calf? They'll have to walk.
Yeah.
You need more cushion under your heel.
There's probably sociologists that followed that trend. How did an entire people group get fooled into wearing these ridiculous? But they were the cool thing. Yeah.
What's the shoe that's looks like a sock, like all your toes?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
the toe shoes.
Toe
Yeah,
shoes.
those are Nasty.
Are those out? They're nasty.
I
And
think-
are
Oh,
they
yeah.
still a
They're
thing?
gone again, I think.
Nah,
I
yeah,
haven't
think
seen
in
those in a
some
long-
fitness circles. I think you still will see them, but
Yeah, let's not do that.
yeah. So this has been the fishing for advertisers portion of the show. So hopefully a Hoka rep is listening.
Yeah.
G2Fi, maybe we
Actually,
can be
then I threw 'em
sponsored.
under the bus.
I don't think
we
we're
take
gonna
back
get
everything we said.
I love them.
We're not gonna get a Hoka rep, but G2Fi that
We
they-
might get G2Fi.
I'm gonna jump onto this. I
I'm
get
We need average
G2Fi
advertisers.
catalogs sent to my house. They're like, we know you're one of our customers.
Hey,
That's our guy.
we know you're once we monetize this podcast,
Once we do,
we're
Oh,
definitely
man.
gonna start advertising it.
Yeah.
Like Jeff, we were talking about before. James is like, "Hey guys, like people are actually listening to this. You're like, we should probably
Tell our
tell
own
people
church.
about it.
Yeah.
We've never nobody
never.
we've never mentioned this podcast.
It was in the
any-
newsletter.
Yeah, but it's
one
not.
time.
It's
Was
not
it really?
Yeah,
You
I
snuck
mean,
it
it
into
was
the
buried. It was buried.
the Veritas newsletter on page 5.
right.
below,
average
below the fold. Let's say that.
We're kind of a group that's like not sponsored by the solution, more the problem. It's not like this episode's not brought to you by orthopedic shoes. It's brought to you by plantar fasciitis.
and we could sell some like prostate health products. Like as I'm
You gotta go to the
Hey,
bathroom.
James,
What, what's a prostate health product?
I don't know. Like
But they're
you,
out there.
you just have to
Okay.
you have to pee more regularly. I don't know. You
I'll get
can't-
on this.
Which I'm amazed. Yeah, come on, James. Let's get after this.
We gotta
When
drum
this-
up some sponsors.
When this
Oh.
when this
Wow.
episode is released, I think that you guys will be either in Zambia or have been in Zambia.
Oh wow, really? When does this get
I will
released?
either be in or have been in Taiwan and Thailand.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a rare thing when
So-
both of us are gone at the same time
Mm-hmm.
and well alone, both of us in another hemisphere. So,
Yeah, I think this will come out on like May 11th.
We should
Oh,
do
so
a
we'll be
we
getting
should
back.
do a Skype
Dude.
episode from around the world.
oh yeah,
Mark,
that'd be sweet.
we should totally do that. While
We'll
you're,
both be overseas and
Yeah.
and doing a.
you could
I think
pull
that's-
Clint on. We could pull Jonathan.
That sounds
on.
like a great idea.
That'll never happen.
That not only will it not happen, it will be like
It's too
I-
late. What time is it over there?
yeah, I don't know. Trying to sync that. It would be that's fun. Are you gonna try to break your sitting record? Because you sat on the plane for
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was like
It was 16 hours.
a 16-hour sit,
Yeah.
which the endurance of I mean, there's just so for
Yeah,
for so many reasons. That's
I
Just
feel like
an
I need to
amazing-
defend myself. I mean, people hear that and they're like, "How lazy to sit." I mean, like the dedication that it takes.
Yes.
oh yeah,
to
like
push through
because
that.
I thought
Yes.
when we all
Don't
broke,
you think I wanted to get up? I
I
pressed through that.
that.
I endured
Well,
long suffering.
because we took a break last hour. We just we get up and where's Jake? He's still sitting there. I'm like, he's
I'm
training.
training. Yeah.
Jake's training for
I
his
was
flight.
I was the window seat, and like people were sleeping. I'm like, it was
Yeah.
It was really the
Yeah.
love of others that kept me.
Nice.
It was love.
It is
Yeah.
awkward,
It was
especially if you got somebody that
perseverance.
took some kind of sleeping pill and
Yeah.
they're cashed out, and
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh,
how on earth am I going to get
You-
over
Yeah.
that?
you
know?
had no other choice but to put on another movie
Yeah. I'll-
and endure.
I'll-
and
I will die to
movie
myself
endurance.
and consider.
You had to endure how many movies? That's also another
Yeah.
probably record.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier, like I'm bringing my computer. I'm gonna get some. I mean, I'm sitting there for 16 hours. I'm gonna get a lot of writing done. It's like no, just watch another movie.
I can't even
Yeah.
tell you how many times I've had that aspiration, or to
Yeah.
read some
It's
really
hard to
significant
read on a
books.
plane, yeah.
And,
It
you know,
is.
and
It's exceptionally difficult
Really
to do all
is.
those things.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway, well, I'm your batting practice pitcher. You know, I'm
Yeah.
throwing you some balls
Mm.
to hit, and so I'm running out of balls from last. So what do you guys got?
James,
What do you guys
could you
got?
just take
great.
that soundbite
I'm running out of
and send that to me?
Yep, you got it, Jake. You
I'm
got it.
Oh, come on. To the
Oh,
pure, all
man.
things are pure, Jake.
I love that people who have listened to the
We-
podcast long enough, they understand this rhythm of we record 2 episodes at a time, and the second episode we record is always like this, where it's like,
A little more punchy.
what are we doing?
Guard is down.
We had one where we put all our energy into the first one.
Yeah.
Took a break. What are we doing again?
We're barely crawling back to
I
the
was-
microphone.
I was thinking about when you get this newsletter. Little shout out to the Pour Over newsletter. We got to get some kickback on that. Like if they get some
Fishing
subscribers,
for advertisers.
the Pour Over newsletter. It's your great. Get your news. But they have this thing like the most asked questions. Like we're gonna answer your most asked questions, or maybe it was on their podcast. I don't remember what it was, but I was thinking like, I think the average pastor podcast is like, we're gonna answer your least asked questions. Like, the least.
I never asked that.
Yeah, I was like, that's, most of
No,
our
but
conversations.
You
is
should
like
have.
stuff you never.
Yeah.
Right. But then I was thinking about, isn't that, do you think that most of a pastor's job is, and like a lot of preaching is like, hey, I know that none of you have been asking about this week, but I'm going to talk to you about the holiness of God. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to talk to you about like the biggest problem in your life you haven't been thinking about. Like,
It's the unfelt needs.
yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
Minister to the
We're gonna
unfelt
be,
needs.
yeah, we minister to the unfelt needs of the world. What's your
Uh,
so what's a how would you what's a question, what's a topic that no one's asking about but they should be, a question no one's asking but they should be?
I think there is a lot of focus on physical health in our world. I think there's a lot of talk about mental health in our world. But when the job in Hebrews 13, where the job of the leaders is to care for your soul, people aren't asking, what does it mean to have a healthy soul? And I don't think they know how that impacts every other aspect of their life.
Wow.
And there's been a minimizing of soul health. And they should be asking, there should be much more attention to, how is my soul health?
Wow.
Ooh.
Or if they do, it's some kind of Eastern meditation.
Yeah.
It's you read about progressives that have rhythms of quieting their soul and doing all that stuff that isn't, which is different, right, than nurturing your soul with.
Yeah, and when your soul is unhealthy, I don't think we realize the far-reaching implications of that. Even physically, when David kept quiet about his sin and it said, my bones wasted away, I was like zapped with the heat. Like it had physical effects on him. Or our mental health. We have been made with a soul that is meant to commune with God. And when you take that out, it has all kinds of problems. And I think we're misdiagnosing the real problem.
What does it take to get good soul health? What are some things that people aren't doing that they could be that would lead to,
I mean, even
more soul health?
Even when you think of, a lot of times people connect mental health problems with sadness and depression. Well, I think it's pretty profound that Jesus connects abiding with him with joy. So I think there's,
Wow.
obedience. In John 15, he's talking about abiding and connects it to obedience. Then he connects that to joy. So we're made to commune with God, to know who God is, to walk with God, to live in obedience to God. We're made to worship God. So all these things, like, are you being obedient? Are you learning about the nature and character of God? Are you worshiping God? How much that has to do with actually having a healthy life.
Do you know there's a category in our little stream of Christianity that we don't, our little tributary stream, we don't have as much focus on contemplation, meditation, prayer, spiritual, the role of a spiritual director that used to, there's in different, in the like contemplative tradition, that's more of a thing. And to what you're saying, so we had some dear friends over that were coming through town, Kevin and Mary Scheibe, and Scheibe's getting her kind of, I don't know, certification or whatever and she's basically a spiritual director, and meeting with pastors actually. And it was really cool because talking to them about it, and that's something that I first learned about when I read Working the Angles by Eugene Peterson. It's probably one of the more, I was going to say one of the most, one of the more formative books I've ever read on ministry. Maybe one of the only books I've ever read.
For me, more than any other book on my shelf.
He talks about prayer, the angles of pastoral ministry are word, prayer, spiritual direction. And the spiritual director helps you, guides you, and directs you to Jesus.
So did she diagnose you at all?
We talked.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was good.
Yeah.
She did. And I would actually commend her to you. Like, I think if you were a pastor or in ministry, because that's her specialty. It's not a therapist. It's not a life coach. Kind of in the middle is this person she's like thoroughly Christian, biblical. And of course, Mary, I think I would totally trust her. I mean, she has a very biblically entranced worldview. Like she trembles at the word. So there's no concerns there, but just helping you, understand and see what God is doing, who he is. And she was, sharing some really interesting things. Nothing, she was basically, I think a lot of our struggle as pastors is identity stuff connected to what we do, like our identity connected to success, or like I was asking her a question, like, how would you, well, what do you do? And the whole time she is in prayer. She's asking questions. She's wanting you to be aware of the presence of the Lord and to work your soul and to help you understand your thoughts and what's at the root of this, and what is it about God that you need to know, and what would Jesus, he's here, what's he speaking into this. And a lot of what you find is that people's thoughts are not like Jesus' thoughts. They're like we live in ideologies or things that we need to hear the voice of Jesus. Like our souls are constantly, taking things in, but to really like contemplate and to get to a point of quiet and prayer and meditation enough to hear Jesus just say, I want to talk to you about how you've been thinking about, this is me making it up, but it's an example of maybe like, hey, I want to talk to you about how you felt about your last sermon. So here's an example. I was talking to a pastor, and he was younger pastor. He was sharing that he feels total guilt, like was struggling with a day of feeling guilt and condemnation over a sermon, like it wasn't good, and just kind of living in that hate, that cloud of just like, I guess, shame, or I shouldn't have said this, or that was terrible, and you're not a good preacher, and I was just helping him understand and discern the voice of Jesus. Like, is that Jesus? Like, do you think Jesus was putting that on you?
Right.
and helping him. So yeah, that's an example of, I guess, maybe where part of, is there a role in soul care of like helping other people get to Jesus?
What's a question that you think people aren't asking but should?
Tell me how you're feeling, and then asking the question, what does Jesus want you to know about that way that you feel?
Are we still on like the soul health thing?
Mhm.
I'm going back to your like original question. I mean my
Oh,
question.
you're
completely.
yeah. This is a change of topic. Okay, you're saying,
Your original question was
yeah.
like,
What are the questions people aren't asking
Yeah,
that
but
we need to be talking
yeah.
about? Yeah. Well, I can tell you what I've been thinking about recently. I got into a discussion actually with my I'll make this more
That was
it's
interesting to watch.
Filtering.
yeah, it's okay. I was talking to my niece. She's a lawyer, and we were talking about justice, and I started reading, didn't finish reading Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. I think that's his name. Have any of you guys read that?
Mm-mm.
The movie.
The movie was about that.
Yeah, I saw the movie.
Yeah, and I was looking about, actually was taking some notes just on trying to understand, because basically what she was talking to me about was, I was thinking about our justice system and it's the different models of justice, because I think that as Christians we tend to think like our justice in America is like biblical justice. And I love America, and our justice system is the whole innocent until proven guilty thing. I love that.
Mhm.
But I was asking her about, because she's actually a public defender, and in defending people, like her heart is, she was just explaining like from Bryan Stevenson's book, the different models of, like, she's like, well, we live in a punitive justice system where basically the two questions are, what law was broken and who did it, and there's the only thing is just like punishment, right? And so we punish to deter crime, but there are other models of justice where, like, she was telling me, like a restorative justice model that is focused more on the victim and restoring them back to, so in some models, and this might be even a more Old Testament idea, is like where it's more based on the community, and the judge is the prosecutor and the defense, and they are the one seeking to gather all the information and saying, like, what was the crime? How do we deter crime, maybe with punishment, but also as part of that, it's the restoration part of it. What's the word that's escaping me? When you're paying back, you're getting it back to
Remuneration or restoration. I don't know what.
yeah.
So
What's my word? It's in my head.
I know.
Yeah, it starts with an R, I think.
he
Yeah.
stole your
restitution. Yeah, to make
ox.
restitution,
You owe him an
basically.
ox. You stole his ox.
Yes.
You owe him yeah.
That, like, our justice system doesn't
Sure.
have a category
so
for
you
that.
stole his ox. You're going to jail.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you're just like, well, I still don't have an ox. So it's like,
right. That's our
Gotcha.
justice system has no room in it for mercy. Well, the only way to, so here's an example. Okay. So
now, when you say no room for mercy, it tends to mean no room for mercy to the
victim or to the
offender.
Yeah.
So mercy is like, well, we shouldn't send him to jail, but the one who was, there's no.
Yeah. So if you're a Christian, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna give this is just a very hypothetical example. Okay, you're we talked about new law in Iowa is distracted driving. It's like up there with drunk driving. Maybe not. I think a lot of people use their phones. A lot of people are on their phones. And I think most people in Iowa, I know this is California, other states, probably Iowa's probably one of the last ones to have it. I don't know, for all I know. But the law about that, right? So you're distracted driving, it's on your lap, that's illegal. You're touching it, you're whatever. So you clip it in.
But if it's a part of your car as a screen right there,
yeah, it's good. You're all good. We've worked this out. Okay, so now what happens if you're distracted driving and something terrible happens? Somebody's injured because of your mistake. And they say, okay, law's broken. You did it. You're going to jail for 90 days. I'm making that up, but there are examples of this. And they serve you the papers and they say, guilty, not guilty. What do you do as a Christian? Someone comes to you and's like, Jake, I did this thing. But I can't, like, if I have to go to jail for 90 days, like, I'll lose my job. It's going to affect my family. I feel terrible about this. I admit I did this and it was terrible, but like, I want to plead for a lesser punishment. And also I care about the victims. Like, I want to help their family, but what do I do? Do I plead guilty or not guilty? What would you say to them?
Well, how they plead might not affect the sentencing. You're saying there needs to be a different sentencing.
It would, because I think in the justice system,
so if you say you're guilty, you're going to jail.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not guilty.
Because part of the admission of guilt is the admission that the consequences also are the right consequences.
True, except that you can still plead the mercy of the court, even if you're guilty. So what Jake's saying is the judge.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, in other words, people that do crime don't all. There's levels of consequence.
A judge can give a lesser sentence.
But to get to that place, you might have to plead not guilty. It's
weird because if you're not guilty, you don't have to do any. If I'm not guilty, I don't know any restoration.
Okay, right. So this is my like the thing that I've been thinking about is, I think you could. Our justice system is not a community-based. It is in the sense jury, but our founders set up the justice system that there would be a situation where all the facts would come out. And it's that it would be, you would fight it out. It's an adversarial system. It's meant to be argued.
Right.
The only place to get to the argument is a not guilty plea. Like, you can't. So, for example,
so there's no trial if you plead guilty.
Yes,
I see what you're saying.
You're guilty. Now,
maybe you can plead guilty, not guilty, or not quite as guilty as you want.
Okay, so
they need that like middle. Played not quite as guilty.
Jake, you are ding, 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 ding. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that's where I want us as pastors to be careful about. I've learned I've been just in talking to her, I was thinking about it's our system to get to that place requires you to say not guilty, even though you're saying that's not me not taking ownership. That's me saying, I want all the facts of this case of me on my phone, like the officer getting in there to share what happened.
So you see,
and then an opportunity to say to the judge, like, this could have happened to.
There is a tension of, like, you think of a lot of white collar crimes. You can make an argument of like, okay, they broke the law. They did, illegal trading or what, scam some people, whatever. You're like, all right, well, they're not a danger to society, and it's going to cost society more to jail them and feed them. So let's, give them a lesser sentence for restoration. And I think there's arguments to be made for that, but also you do begin to undermine a deterrent. Like there is a place where consequences are very inconvenient.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be. And it may be really unfair to you, but this isn't just about you. It's about the society
right.
saying, hey, don't do that. You're going to be punished.
This is not, I'm not arguing against punishment or a punitive system. I'm just saying that we could bring our friend Alex Tuckness on sometime. He's a political philosopher and ethicist, where an expert in the law and the theory of law and stuff. It would be a blast talking to him about it, because he wrote a book on mercy and how when like a presidential pardon, that's the Bible has a context for mercy of somebody, but our justice system, it might have it, but it's buried in at the end, you can give your impact statements and say, after all that's turned, the gavel goes down, boom, that's where you say, hey, Your Honor, please give me the minimum fine or give me the minimum jail time, or please, for the sake of, you can share. I guess I'm saying that the restitution part isn't, maybe there's, and I hear like a lawyer or somebody that knows the law, we should bring them on to ask them this, but I just don't see, it's not.
That would ruin we are uninformed opinions. That's where we need to live
on things we know nothing about.
That's right.
Because I'm just working it through because I feel.
Then we're gonna sound even more dumb.
Yeah, we need to bring an average lawyer.
No, just some other guy.
Self-proclaimed average lawyer. I'm not.
I didn't do that well in law school. I don't.
We brought Bill
you were
on
toward
here.
the bottom of your class in
You're
law
welcome
school.
on the
It's
podcast.
like, are you a lawyer? I read a John Grisham novel.
If only. It's Call Saul.
Yeah.
If only.
It's Saul Goodman on
I
there.
watch Better Call Saul.
If only we knew of a law school that was nearby that we could ask some of these questions about. Here's my thing. I guess I'm trying to ponder in real life in our judicial system if that's actually true what you're saying, because even at the level of a police officer can pull you over, you're dead to rights, you broke the speed limit, and he has the total freedom to give you a warning or to give you the fine. A judge, if you got picked up for whatever, could say, man, I can see you got a clean record. So I don't know that it requires that
he's not the full. Romans 13, we have an obligation to submit to the governing authorities. And I think this is where I think in American law, he is not the full expression of the sword. The sword that's part of it. You're pulled over, you were going 70 miles an hour in this construction zone. Here's your ticket. And you've got the tickets like guilty, not guilty. Like, I think part of the
freedom
system
in the system for him to see guilt. You're saying, yes, I did it. And he's like, but I'm going to give you a warning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying,
but
it feels like that's baked into.
He could give you also the full force of the law and double your fine and all that.
Totally could.
And you could get that. Do you think as a Christian, you could also then take the next step of the law of the sword of Caesar to say, I'm going to plead not guilty so I can show up in court with that police officer, with a judge, and ask for
that's what I don't know.
A reduced sentence or a reduced fine. The only way to get there is to check the not guilty box.
So,
yeah, I mean, you're giving me information I haven't understood that is the only way to get mercy or a reduced sentence is by pleading not guilty. I'd want to just talk to somebody in law theory.
So
That actually, you know what I mean? But
report
So
back.
my
I
law
think-
expertise.
yeah,
is-
please weigh in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but just the
Well, the
general.
movie. I'm thinking of the. You guys have seen the movie or read the book, A Time to Kill.
Yes. Is that Matt or who's? Was it Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember.
can't
I can't
remember.
even tell you what it's about.
A
Just remember.
little girl was raped by these men, and the dad kills the men.
Oh.
So it goes to trial, and I think he pleaded not guilty. It's not that he was saying I didn't kill them. What he's saying is I don't deserve to be punished for this crime.
Oh yeah.
There was a time to kill.
Yeah.
So in that sense,
Yeah.
you're not saying
Yeah.
did I do it or not. I mean, recently,
right.
I don't know
Yep.
the facts of this one, but there was a guy in Missouri that I think his daughter was taken or something, and found her in this car with the guy and beat him up, and he might have died. So he had to go to court, and he clearly got out because he just ran for sheriff and won.
Oh wow.
So I do think if you go to court and you say like I'm not guilty,
Only in Missouri. That's
totally
hard.
checks out.
Therefore, you get to be a
But,
sheriff.
but I think
Not only are you not guilty,
but I think
you're
there
in
is a
charge
sense-
now.
there is a sense of part of our judicial system is a trial of your peers.
right.
So if your peers are being like, I would have done that too. I get it.
That's what and all of
Yeah.
that gets unlocked with a not guilty.
A trial.
Yeah.
You
A
got to
tri-
go to trial.
I'm just
No,
telling
I-
you. I
no,
think that
I
a
believe
trial
it. No,
happens when you plead not guilty.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not a trial.
Yep.
Yeah.
In my mind, then that's more of a
Legal.
When you
thing
started
have to
this-
do.
right.
I would
Yeah.
want people to know, like,
Wait,
It-
this is
when
the
you-
thing
when
that you want
you
people
started
to
this
know.
podcast off with like, I don't know where we're going. It's like,
well, I'm telling you,
you meant it.
yeah. Did I think we were going to be talking about
law.
restorative justice models
Oh,
of
my
Jeff,
word.
Jeff,
Punitive-
what is the question that people are not asking?
You're like, get on, move on from
But they
this. I'm
should
done with
be
it.
asking.
Totally.
No. Right now,
Right
what is
now.
the question?
I promise you,
Yeah.
this is in that category.
Yeah.
Among the questions.
What people are not asking right now. is-
What else does no one else want to talk about but you?
How many people are still listening? Did they get bored out of their minds?
Can you start talking
Yeah.
about Russian literature
I know.
again or Roman? What was the comment on it? James?
Yeah. It was like,
More rant-
less Roman. Yeah, more ranting, less Roman literature.
Right. Jeff busts out Dostoevsky and it's like,
Tolstoy,
get
all
that
these-
Roman
all these
crap out
famous
of here.
Romans.
Oh,
Wait.
that's hilarious. Oh my word.
I'm
Okay, Jake,
fresh
your
out
turn.
of I'm fresh out of baseballs to throw to you guys. So Jake just pitched it to you, Jeff. What are the questions no one asks?
I can't even think of any right now. My mind is spinning.
Dude, I'll tell you. Can I keep going then?
Oh,
You betcha. You're asking
we're
me.
so far into the unknown.
Yeah. This is your roller coaster. We're just on it.
Yeah. Well, I was.
Oh my word.
We were with your. I was trying to remember the phrase that he. Yeah. Do you remember? This was I feel like was this at your book release party? Every podcast, I have to hit the bingo card. A little advertisement for the unusual and adventurous raising of Charlie Finley. I think we were at that book party release. But
Which was a surprise. It was,
oh yeah, surprise. It was
yeah,
fun.
we set
Yeah.
a meeting and
Go.
in walked like Mark and his family and my in-laws. And I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So go buy the book, put on an Amazon review, which I was going to be the first one. I still haven't done it. So it's a great book. But your father-in-law asked a question. He's like, so do you guys, what he said something about, what do you think about secondary separation? And we were like, remember I was like, secondary separation.
That was,
What
man,
is
big,
that?
that was
I-
big.
and-
Jeff knows that.
and
Oh, I
do you know
that
about
one,
this?
baby.
Yeah.
You do?
Oh, I lived it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? And so basically he's like, well, do you, He's like, do you guys recommend podcasts, or do
Right.
you recommend authors, or do you ever say like, oh
Yep.
yeah, I was listening to this guy, and then it's like, basically, because people could take that and see you making a full endorsement of that person's things. And I think like we live in a podcast world where it's like, oh, you're in that podcast, like, oh, you're with those guys. And
It's
and so-
secondary separation.
does that mean?
It's more like, not only do you not sin, you actually don't do anything that could look like you are actually sinning. So like maybe a more objective thing would be, because beer comes in cans. So this is back to the fundamentalist Baptist world I was in when secondary separation was a big item. So we don't drink beer. We're fundamentalist Baptist. We don't drink beer. So when you go to a public park, you shouldn't even drink soda out of a can, because somebody might think that you're actually drinking beer. It's that secondary
It's not
separation.
beer's bad.
Or-
Cans are bad.
So, or maybe,
Oh,
so
I
bring
see.
it more to
Well,
the religious world. If there's
the issue, like a practical issue for churches that I think Dan gives when he talks about this, is the debate would be like, would you have Billy Graham come
Yes.
speak at your church? Which was an interesting thing, because Billy Graham was not asking to speak at anybody's these churches, but that was the issue. Like, well, we
Big
wouldn't
issue.
have it, not because they thought Billy Graham was bad, but Billy Graham associated with people that they thought was bad. So that was the second degree. We're not going to
Oh,
associate
yeah.
with him, even though we don't have a problem with him.
Or
He's
don't
associated with-
go to movie theaters, because even if you're going to see a fine, upstanding movie, that theater also
Wow,
promotes
it's
bad things.
Is this
in
all
there,
part
and
of
so-
the? I've heard this. I hear people in this say it all the time. I never would have put secondary separation to this, but like the Bible says, avoid all appearances of evil.
that too?
Mhm.
Yeah,
so
so it kind of in
anything
that
that could
same-
look like
that could look like
You're doing
and especially
something.
when you get
Okay.
deep into the Christian world, then, or I mean, like associations, denominations, and all that. So you can't, like, let's just say there's a great Bible teacher, but is in a denomination that you disapprove of. You
Or
can't,
or hold some views you disagree with.
right? Even
Oh,
if they're
that's-
associated
I've heard that.
with
Yeah,
those.
is that why
yeah.
there was a church that was like, we can't let them speak at our thing because they're a old Earth guy.
Mm.
Like they don't believe in a literal.
And it means you're going to associate with that thing that's actually 2
And,
degrees.
and I
a
do
little
think
that.
there is room for shepherding wisdom depending on who you're talking to. It's like, hey, I might recommend a book to somebody, but it's like, I know you can swallow the meat and spit out the bones. But there might be a younger believer. It's like, I would hate to introduce you to an author because I don't want you to read some of their other stuff.
Right.
And that's just a shepherding
We-
caution.
This so
Sure.
someone came to me and they were like, "Man, he kind of gave me a little hit on the arm, like, hey man, you didn't tell me. I was so." He's like, "Man, I didn't know you were against John Mark Comer, because he's like, when I told you I was reading that book and we talked about it, and he said, you never said you didn't." You never
Mhm.
told me not to read it, but then on the podcast, sounds like you guys were like making fun of it and very against it. I'm like,
There goes
Oh.
one of our sponsors.
oh shoot. I'm like, no, like, Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, like,
Right.
I kind of like the book. There's
Right.
a lot of great stuff in there. It's like, I didn't know I wasn't
Yeah.
supposed. All of a sudden, I think what he was getting at is like, I didn't know that wasn't part of our
Well,
tribe,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
because
and
I
in defense, that book came out before his foolish comments on the atonement.
Right.
Oh yeah, so there's some timing stuff there, but like so this is my question. I think this could be hilarious because you know how we look at past generations of Christians, like from the maybe 50s, 60s, 80s, or whenever you also came up, 80s
80s.
Christianity, where it's like, oh yeah, we don't associate with those guys because they
Yeah.
but now we kind of laugh at that, but I think we might do it even more.
Hmm.
I think we're more guilty of that because
Well-
it's like, wait, you liked that person's post Did you know that they liked that person's post and now you're guilty
Baptists
of
were canceling
I think-
before canceling was a thing, man. Bang, 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 bang.
I think it's
totally. They were ahead of the curve on that.
that
We're
exists.
canceling people like
cancel culture is a problem. But I think there, where you had second degree separation, I think there was no separation.
Mm-hmm.
The pendulum swings so far the other way. It's like, it's not that don't go to a movie theater to even see a good movie, because movie theaters promote bad movies, to like, you can watch bad movies.
Right.
You know, it's like it's swung so far
Right.
where we are so don't want to be those people. We have no discernment at all, and we're free to do stuff we shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah, we've
So-
gone from like legalism to license.
If it's like, what are the
yeah.
words you'd have to put in? Like, there's secondary separation on one side, that's a pendulum, to
no separation?
to primary participation. It's like-
Yeah.
Now we're
yeah,
not only like a little bit removed, we're all in.
We're in,
Yeah,
baby.
let's go. But I did think it was funny because as soon as you mentioned, because I was with somebody who said, yeah, if in this context if you mention anything about spiritual formation in this group of people, like, you're going to get booed off the stage.
Oh wow,
Because that's anathema in certain,
oh man,
like, if you mention that you read something that Dallas Willard wrote and you quote it, all of a sudden you're somebody
getting
who
canceled for
I'm
sure.
getting canceled, like, because like, I deny substitutionary atonement.
yeah, right.
You get
I'm-
lumped into a
yeah.
camp.
And egalitarian, like,
Yeah.
yes, I can't. But somehow there's certain people who are excluded from that. They have immunity from that, like C.S. Lewis,
Mm.
because he had a whole lot of views. He'd be like,
It's got to be enough
if that-
years past.
Yeah.
if that was
Yeah.
at camp now, like, I don't know, what does he think about
He didn't know, right?
the
yeah,
infallibility
totally.
of scriptures and some
Yeah, the
potential
Mhm.
some maybe
annihilationist or
some
Mhm.
opinions of, but it's okay to quote him. But people that are now, he's got immunity. It's been so
Well, Tolkien, very Roman Catholic, unashamedly Roman Catholic. You know what I mean? So there
Yeah.
were. And
Do you
so,
ever
do you
ever
think that
on
there
this?
is an issue that it's wise to be more lenient in as years past versus a contemporary that's actively, or is like, no, it's apples to apples, same.
Oh, I don't think it's as much. No, I think we have to just understand who these people are, right? Nobody like we're not trying to bury the stuff about C.S. Lewis or
Right.
whatever that we don't want true, but it doesn't negate the true things that he did say. If you read Augustine, if you
Yeah.
read so there's going to be things that you're like, oh, dang, I didn't go that far or whatever. But I think the things that actually, back to a Lewis idea, anything
Mhm.
that stands the test of time through orthodoxy,
Right.
you're like, well, there's got to be enough meat on there that the bones are also easily identifiable to throw out or
Sure.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so the more John Mark Homers or whoever who are maybe flash in the pans 10 years from now, is anybody talking about that?
Mhm.
You don't have to think about it. But the C.S. Lewis's or whoever, I think, Francis Schaeffer's, there's a whole lot of those guys. Hey, Luther and his
Yeah.
anti-Semitism, you know
But
what I mean?
there's yeah.
So
there's
whoever,
a-
there's
Well,
going to
the
be.
But when you
said that.
quote Luther, you're never thinking about, oh, these people are gonna get confused now about communion
right.
and baptism.
Right.
Like, so my question is, are you
Right.
guys, how careful are you on this podcast or in the pulpit about who you quote? Like, I know I was gonna, I'm
think,
actually not gonna attribute, I'm gonna quote this guy, but I'm not gonna say his name because
Well, I think the,
it's
Right.
a
the
lightning
issue
rod of
is not
controversy.
who you're quoting, it's who you're talking to. So if I have a concern, like, I'm not concerned that you're going to fall into following Luther on some things we disagree with, or you're going to, but if I quote this person, there's maybe a higher concern that you're going to
Mm.
chase that. So I don't think who you're quoting is as much of the issue as the threat of the negative influence to the people you're talking to.
And
So-
I think if you just give a quick bio, I remember one time I quoted Kierkegaard, and there was a guy, this was when we were in Kansas City, so it was a long time ago, but one of the elders, what he represented, and I'm like, it could be,
Yeah.
but
Is it
I
a good
mean,
quote?
but it was right on the nose of what we. So I'm just saying, like sometimes
those
you can even
guys,
say, "Man, we
that's-
don't agree with everything," but man,
Yeah.
let me share with you something that Lewis Kierkegaard, whoever,
Well, some of
said,
it,
and-
if you're like, because if you quote Karl Barth or something like
Right.
that, like you would now, you're probably not worried that someone's gonna read him and get into some whacked, redaction
Neo-orthodoxy,
criticism
yeah.
or some weird
right,
rabbit hole of it's an old guy that no one's gonna.
You're
Totally.
But in the time,
in the time, yeah,
You would have probably maybe not quoted
Yeah.
him because
that could be true.
this could
totally.
be. So I think that's like.
Nobody's reading a lot of Barth in our church, but they
Yeah.
might read Comer. So I think
Right.
you're assessing the threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and I think I want to create a church culture where there's like, no, read. Like I don't want to do a book burning of John Mark. Like
Right.
we're gonna see him in
Yes,
heaven. And I
yes.
love he would be a great guy to have on our podcast. Like it just because you're having a conversation with someone who's like doesn't mean you're
No, but I
like
also
what
think
do you think about that?
I don't know that now, if it had just been right out of that time before other things came out of his mouth that I would disagree with. In other words, would we want to have him come on and talk about the things we disagree with? Oh, maybe that'd be kind of fun. But if it's more promotional, no, we just want to don't talk about the other stuff. We just want to talk about that book that we all really liked. Well, no, I wouldn't. But that's where time helps, right? Because all the stuff, and now they're long dead.
Mm-hmm.
The full corpus of everything they've thought and said is out there. And now we can evaluate it more easily. It's a lot harder when these guys are still out there. I mean, how many dudes that we have once read a great book are now saying and doing stuff that you're like, oh, whoa. And so that's why it's a
I
little
just want
harder
to.
in
I
real
think
time.
where we need to press into people more, and this goes back to a conversation from our last podcast, is we need to be more discerning, not less discerning.
Yeah.
There is a problem with being tossed to and fro by every wind and wave of doctrine. So grow discernment. Now, I do think this is the tension. Critical thinking is missing. Critical spirit is not. A lot of people have a critical spirit where it's just, but we don't want that. But we do want critical thinking.
Right.
Can you flesh that out? I think that's
I
that's
think
beautiful.
people
What's
mistake
describe
critical-
the difference? What does a critical spirit sound like, and what does a critical thinking sound like?
Yeah, well, critical thinking is being able to assess information and come to sound conclusions. I would say biblical conclusions. I don't just take what you said because you said it. I think of the Bereans,
Mhm.
it's like, hey, we went to the Bible and like, is this true? Critical spirit is just complaining, negative,
looking for the bad.
Y-
Yeah. Trying to dismantle.
yeah, I mean, I think we should test everything. There is I think you can look for the bad in a like a sharp, like, hey, we live in a fallen world. The enemy tells lies. I'm looking like, where's the lie? Is this true? But a critical spirit would just have like, I'm not for my edification or other people's edification. I just want to attack somebody.
Well, like a movie critic gives as many really positive reviews
sure.
as negative because that's what you're looking for them to be, a critic. Like, hey,
Yeah.
sift this. Help me. Tell me what's good and what's bad. If you found a movie critic that only just ripped every movie apart, you'd be like,
Yeah. I don't think you
that's-
like movies.
you're just a
Like,
critical
yeah.
person.
You want your food critic to love food.
Yes.
And if you just read all their critics and be like, I don't know if you really like food.
Yes.
I think you want to love truth.
Yep.
So you should rejoice over truth, but you should also, I remember it's a great line in Ratatouille. You guys seen the movie Ratatouille?
Boy, it's been a while.
You guys can talk about Russian literature. I'm going Pixar. That's like
Ratatouille, baby.
That's where I live.
Average pastor.
Well, the food critic in that film, James is with me. You're like, is this really skinny guy, and in this dialogue, the chef is like, "Well, you're really skinny for somebody who likes food," and he says, "I don't like food. I love food, and if I don't love it, I don't swallow." I was like, that is an awesome line. And I do think it's like we should be like, I don't like truth. I love truth. And if it's not true, I don't take
swallow.
it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't swallow. And
Oh,
I think
Jake.
we need
Boom.
more of
We
that.
need
Ratatouille.
we need to be more like the villain from Ratatouille. Got it.
Well,
Take that with you, folks.
in his defense, he's not the villain. He does end up funding the Rat's restaurant.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
redeemed in the end.
yeah.
The rat
Oh, it's a
reawakens
redemption
his
story.
Yeah, it's a
brings
redemption
him back.
story. I mean, I don't
to-
know why you
Yeah.
guys are wasting your time with classic Russian literature when you can get some more Pixar action.
Seriously, I'm kind of ashamed. I'm going to go burn every Dostoevsky book I have. They're gone. I'm canceling Russian. I'm only going for Pixar.
How do you, so this, back to this critical spirit, critical thinking. One thing I think about is how do you create a culture with the freedom to dissent without a culture of dissension? Like, you want people to be independent thinkers and to the freedom to dissent. Like, this is not group think. This is
Yeah.
like our elders. Like, we don't, if you're going to come into the circle, do not be a yes man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't be a dissension man either.
Right.
Like, how do you?
Well, you have to be for something, not just against something. So nobody likes to be a part of a team or in a meeting where it's just like, you just shoot down every idea.
Right.
You
That's
never
true.
bring an idea. That's not fun. You want to be for something. And if you're for something, you're naturally going to be against things that are against what you're for.
Mhm.
So I think you promote, what are we for? And let's be for that. And then we'll identify any enemies that attack what we're for or
Mhm.
undermine what we're for. But if you're a group of people that's just like, I think we're just against everything.
Yeah.
Like, what
was-
are we for?
So we talked about this a couple podcasts ago when we talked to Drew, and it was about, this is on the bingo card. This is a rant. It's like a very average pastor rant, is talking about we're trying to be pastors dependent on the Lord and giving him all the glory. Like, the whole advantage of average is when God uses average people, he gets all the glory. There's no confusing, like, hey, don't look at us. We're the unschooled, ordinary men, clay pots. Like, look at God. That in church, in church world, America now, it can be pretty like CEO, celebrity, pastor who's speaking, like the ascending the ladder of pastoral success and the ambition to do that. So we rant on that a lot. Like, and it could be is that we were talking about metrics and how, we're going to plant, our church is turning 50 years old, so we're going to plant 50 churches. And like, that was the topic of our conversation. And I was like, is that creating dissension? Is that like, because that's an example of, I want the freedom to dissent from, I want the,
Oh, yeah.
like, to speak prophetically to a thing that's happening without being divisive and,
Right.
Sometimes I think divisive gets a bad rap. Like, even where was it where Paul's addressing, like, or John at First John, where the division was shown, or it was Paul. 1
Yeah.
Corinthians 11, and it's like, and
Yeah.
it needed to, so
Yeah.
you could see
To see,
who's real and who's not.
right. First Corinthians
And
11, I think.
We should make contrast with the world. We should make division. Christ said, "I didn't come to I came to divide
Mhm.
household against household, mother against, like." I think unity gets over applied.
Yeah.
and the church isn't being as divisive as it needs to be.
Yeah.
Now that's a sound bite because it sounds controversial, but I do think if you unpack that more, you're like, yeah, we're not being as divisive as we need to be. We haven't made enough distinctions.
Maybe that goes back to, I mean, certainly within Christianity, within our other leaders or whatever, we should be able to, I mean, Paul grabbed Peter in Galatians, called him out in front of everybody, you know what I mean? Because you're not doing right. So that should happen there. But even back to our last podcast, if we see something egregious happening even in a public square, I think we should be able to say, that's wrong.
Right.
That goes against Christ.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think there's a fear of division. When we were talking, what was this? I've lost track what podcast we're on. Is that the fear of, well, Jeff, your thing about, hey, if there could be the fear of like, if you need to tamp that down because we could lose congregants over that.
Right.
Like if somebody
right.
in our church, you could thin out the crowd for something that you say, then these people give a lot of money. Don't upset those people. Because I hear, I know podcasters that I love, and I can see that they are
they're shaped by their listeners.
Yes. I know that, you have some wealthy alumni and some board of regents.
Right.
There's a reason that you're not more passionately
and
just
Paul,
speaking as strongly as you should about this. You're saying it, but you're qualifying it in a way that people won't be too offended because you don't want to lose your...
And in Galatians,
crowd.
Paul's like, am I trying to please men now? I mean, he's saying hard things.
Totally.
And even within the big tent of Christianity, to make distinctions is okay. And to be like, hey, I think this is a dear brother and we're going to be in eternity together. We shouldn't plant churches together. We have totally different ideas doctrinally or
on.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
They'll be like, well, you saying he can't be a member of your church? Like, I couldn't be a member of his church. Like, we have some very distinct...
we
love each other. It's,
So
That's
just
good.
yesterday, I was on a long phone call with an evangelical Anglican priest who did my sister-in-law's funeral a few years ago and stuff. So godly guy. Well, he was calling because they're considering where their next church plant will be. And Iowa City's in the radius of possibilities and all that. It was a joy to be able to say, well, right now there's a trend of going more toward liturgical, churches. And you're one, you don't get much more liturgical.
Are we getting bombed?
Yeah. There's this plane that keeps buzzing the tower. It's going right over us.
Totally.
Over and over.
I said in the last podcast that we were not being bombed.
You know
by
what? You know what's so cool? They probably know that. This is like before the Super Bowl flying the jets over.
Yeah.
Like they know that we're recording.
That's what they say. And you
Get
guys
as
know where
close
they
to
cord the average pastor.
Get as close to the fire porch as you can.
Let's
we look out and somebody put a big target on the roof of my fire porch.
yeah.
But it was fun talking to him because I was able to say, but you are a liturgical church that I would be. We had open conversation. I'm not comfortable. And even there are some doctrinal things that we would have to work through. But you preach the gospel. I know you do. You preach the gospel at my own family member's funeral. You should come. You should bring your tribe and set up shop in our town, because
but it also doesn't mean you're going to help fund that.
we're not going to fund it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even attend it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's okay. So there's all those levels of, so
we need, that's good. We're not going to call fire down on them.
And I think
they're with us.
What our people need to grow in is anybody that stands up and says, that's not right, or I have a critique of this, is seen as, oh, how unchristian.
right.
That's so why can't we just be more and it's like, have you read the New Testament? Like,
Right.
If you take that attitude,
Well, you're 1 John 4.
well,
Like he's saying it's demon, right?
So I think we've lost that in our kind of everything is awesome culture. Just agree with everything.
Well,
be affirming.
So
Is
we
there-
should
but
do
is
that,
there
for
a-
instance,
wait.
with Paula White. or any
Totally.
of those other very public false teachers that are
Yeah.
out there, we should be able to say, as Paul did, that's blasphemous.
Yeah.
That's heresy right there.
But I think the two things. It's weird because on one hand, it's like we have an Everything Is Awesome
Let it go.
Lego movie, great film. It's like we have a Everything Is Awesome, but we also have a Everything Is Horrible. Like
Right.
everyone
Yeah.
is.
They're two ditches.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like these little micro
Yeah,
tribes
yeah.
of that. I think how is our podcast going to age?
Wow.
How if you
And I think that if somebody listened to this podcast and it's like, now personalities come into how things are heard sometimes, or a lot of factors come into how things are heard. But if it seems like, boy, you're just all about, these
Anti something.
anti something, and it's like we don't hear a positive advancement of, humble
Right.
culture, pastors that aren't trying to platform and be big deals, but serve people and preach the whole counsel of God, then we have a problem. Like,
Yep.
are we for a certain type of culture? And it's what makes us passionately against this because
Yeah.
we think it undermines what we're for.
Hmm.
But if you gotta be
Well-
casting towards something.
one of the advantages of our average podcast is nobody will be listening to it when we're gone. So,
man.
I don't know. Or we'll be dead and they will be talking about
If
it.
we get canceled by a bunch of people, we won't even know the difference. Wait, we had somebody?
James is like,
Sorry to
guys,
be-
that was months ago. None of these things are plugged in. Just
These cords aren't even plugged in. This isn't even a podcast.
You guys just need this. We all had a meeting and just like, yeah, we need to keep this going for them.
Oh, that is hilarious.
You stop
Totally.
posting it, but you don't tell us.
We wouldn't know the difference. Although I do have to say, I'd never do this, but I actually did start listening to the one with Drew and was in my car laughing out loud, even though I was in real time on the recording. It was hilarious, especially when
you're-
Drew talked about watching himself and how effeminate he
Oh,
looked to
yeah.
his own eyes.
That's awesome. I love that.
Anyway,
We need
sorry.
more. The Average Pastor podcast needs a little more Drew in it.
Oh,
We gotta have that.
man.
Oh,
I
we-
was reliving that whole
We should
moment.
talk about. We got to talk about our next little writing retreat get together because you were talking about Jeff. Right, when he read the last
Mhm.
podcast we did, his little thing. I'm like, dude, we got to do that more. We got to figure out,
Yeah.
the rhythms and get some of those. Maybe we can share some of the readings stuff we're thinking about.
Mhm.
But yeah, well, I've been out of baseballs to throw to you guys for a while now. So you got anything else you wanted to say over that you didn't get out, Jake? Any other?
no, I'm good.
Yeah, I've been good. I didn't need to. Yeah.
We didn't have. I don't think we had time to get Nate on, but maybe next time.
Yeah.
We'll try to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that first.
Yeah, our schedule was too full.
Yeah.
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 Tell him to stand in line.
Yeah. Call back.
So next
Take a
next
number.
episode, we'll have some stories from overseas.
That will be
Yes.
good.
fun.
Yeah.
That will be good.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear about your guys' trip. Yeah, a lot happens in our place of ministry these next couple weeks. So much happens
Mhm.
because students get to end a semester. They start, finishing. So much of our calendar is based on the University of Iowa's. So once students leave, our town changes a lot. Our church changes. So we have
Yeah.
a
Got to finish well for those
Yeah.
guys.
finish well. So yeah, hopefully, when this comes out, May 11th. So,
Hmm.
Mother's Day, will Mother's Day have happened? Get a little
I think
shout
it's
out.
the next
Yeah.
Sunday after
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So
So yeah, send us some questions. That'd be fun. Get on that
Yeah.
email, the
give me some
average pastor podcast at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
It is fun to read those. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
it's encouraging to get in email conversations with some that
Mhm.
something piqued a question or So
Yeah.
anyway.
You guys inspired somebody to write something on Substack. That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so cool.
A poem.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
cool on the
On the turtle.
turtle and the
Yes.
post,
Yep.
and that was
Yeah, it was cool. I can put a link to it in the show notes. It
Yeah.
was
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah,
Well
dude.
done.
Yeah. I wrote him back and said, I don't know if I hit reply all or if
Yeah.
I just, but it was really beautifully done.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep, thanks for sending that in.
All right. Well, as we go, Jeff, do you got a
Actually, I
good
was
word to
thinking
speak
of
over
just, it should be Jake's because I'm going to 1 John. How far are you guys at this point? Are you
We
in your
start
journey?
chapter 4 this Sunday.
Okay. Because I was just thinking about 1 John because you were talking about it. But at the end, it is so incredible because we are in the true one. That is in his son, Jesus Christ. He is true God and eternal life. And then, little children, guard yourselves from idols.
Hmm.
Just that is one of the most poignant benedictions in the entire Bible, I think, because it's both Jesus centered and he's true and he's truth, which is kind of a theme through all of 1 John. But the last moment is guard yourselves from
Yeah,
idols. You know what I
kinda that
mean?
abrupt
It's
ending.
not just
Mm.
lean toward and kind of to the theme of what we've been
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
not just reach into and toward Jesus, but look around because
Mhm.
there are idols and there's an enemy that wants to distract and pollute and vandalize. And so
Mm.
that his last word would be little children. I love it's endearing. He's not
Mhm.
scolding.
Yeah.
He's endearingly saying, little children, guard yourselves from idols. So let's be careful let's be careful, little ears, what we hear. Let's be careful, little eyes, what we see. You know what I mean? I love
Mhm.
that he, in a beautifully fatherly way,
Yeah,
so
Mm.
that's good.
that's it.
Good word. Yeah. So, well, hopefully you have enjoyed the ride, enjoyed the conversation. Did they though?
Like it or
Did-
not, that's all we got for you.
I don't even have to go to the bathroom. We could keep going, but we're not. But Jake's got his headphones off. He's done. We're done. All done. Thanks for joining us. Hope you were encouraged by something here. So anyway, we'll see you next time.